The Iranian F-14 Tomcat was one of the most dangerous vehicles in top tier when it was released. It was introduced during the Persian Tomcat event, which I made a video on it, not only about the plane, but also the pilot who became legendary with it. Feel free to watch him here. However, it's been 9 months and plenty of things have changed since I made the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bob Dickinson and welcome back to another brand new video. Today, we will be taking another look at the Iranian F-14A Tomcat. Now let's see what are the historical inaccuracies of the Iranian F-14A that Gaijin hasn't fixed yet. As I said in my video, the Iranians were starting to run out of Phoenixes during the Iran-Iraq War, in which due to these sanctions, they couldn't get more of them from the United States. If you haven't figured that one out already. So instead, they started to seek for alternative options, such as installing the MIM-23 Hawk missile on the Tomcat. Even though it did have plenty of problems, for example the missile being too heavy or the fact that F-14 can only carry 2 of them, eventually these problems got fixed over the years. For example, the initial booster got removed, some of the ground launching modules were also removed, and of course, reducing the weight of the warhead itself. There are some claims that the Ministry of Defense made at that time as well, such as the fire and forget capability on the missile and the fact that they changed the fuel system and the motor itself, and of course saying that the max range should be 90 kilometers. Not 135, Gaijin, but most of these things are not clarified. Now, of course, the R-73 should be there because it was successfully integrated, but it was never officially announced. R-27R shouldn't even be there because they couldn't make the missile seeker and the radar compatible with each other. And of course, the aircraft being able to carry up to 6 Phoenixes or Fakurs. I'm not sure about that Fakur part, but I wouldn't be surprised if it could. Now let's have a look at the weaponry changes on the Iranian F-14A in the game. To be honest, there's not a lot of things that have changed over here, except that in several minor change logs, I did see the Fakur 90s and the Sejil missiles have an increased G overload. This change, in my opinion, was not necessary on the Fakurs, but for the Sejils, it was absolutely necessary. Because, you know, both of their G overloads went from 15 to 20. You see, the Fakur 90s already had an incredible acceleration, to the point that they made the AIM-54s on the Iranian Tomcat totally obsolete once you unlock the Fakurs. The only difference between them would be the range, but let's be honest, by the time that Phoenix arrives there, the target would have gotten either closer or turned around, which would make the Phoenix useless anyway. However, when it comes to Sejils, they have totally changed the pace. You see, Sejils are long-range missiles, unlike the other Fox ones. They're also incredibly fast as well. This means that you have to launch this missile on at least 9 kilometers and higher, unlike the R-27R, which is fired at like 75 kilometers and below. But here's the problem. Back then, the Sejils were not able to turn or maneuver in time, making it totally pointless to carry over the R-27R or even the AIM-7E2. But right now, honestly, in my opinion, it's not really that bad, or at least as bad as it used to be. Don't get me wrong, you can still dodge the missile, but now it is harder and it is actually worth a try to have it on your Tomcat. This, of course, does not count if the enemy multipaths, which, fun fact, the explosive warhead is literally the same as the Fakur 90s, so if it hits the ground, it is most likely going to damage them anyway. Most likely, as I said. And now let's have a look at the Yasser rockets. Yeah, remember this? They finally fixed it. So back then, the Proxy Fuse was activated instantly, meaning that if you activated the ripple quantity or just forced it to fire in pairs, the aircraft would instantly explode because both of the missiles were in the 10-meter radius of each other. Using it against ground targets wouldn't really make that much sense either, as when it was getting close to 10 meters, it was just going to literally explode without having any kind of contact with the ground. So you had to either aim at the targets that were light enough to overpressure them from 10 meters away, or just simply track them, if that's even possible. Now they finally fixed it, by giving it either a timed fuse or an impact fuse. It is finally usable now, although it's kind of sad to not have a self-destruct button. Outside of that, I have heard that you're not allowed to carry off Phoenixes and Sparrows at the same time in the middle pylons, but I think that is more of an American F-14 problem than the Iranian one. And outside of that, not a lot has changed with regards to its weaponry or flight performance. So what has changed? Well, let's talk about the gameplay and the meta of the aircraft itself. When it comes to the meta of the aircraft, it is meh, to say the least. This aircraft used to be 12.3 alongside of its rival, the American Tomcat. And then the American one got up BR to 12.7, however, this, alongside the upgraded B Tomcat, went up to 13.3 O.
Ya Allah.
Now, the main reason is quite obvious. It is only because of these guys. If it wasn't because of the Fakur or the AIM-54 Phoenix, it would have probably been stuck in the 12.3 bracket, where a predator like the Hornet is flying around. It feels like that up-BRing this thing is a little bit too excessive, but once you see how Fakurs perform, you can pretty much understand why Gaijin didn't want this thing to be facing anything below 12.0. Back then, the meta was quite different. The Fox 3s were not used to their maximum potential, and the player base was more susceptible to getting shafted in the face because they were not yet adapting to the 60-meter multipath thingy. And there wasn't any high-speed, high-altitude jets like the Eurofighter or the F-15Es or even the Rafales. And this thing used to dominate matches almost all the time. Nowadays, it still can be competitive by launching Fakurs. Don't get me wrong, it is still very capable because of that, and you can still average 2 to 4 kills if you know how to launch the Fakurs. Now, you launch the Fakurs and then instantly fall down face first when it comes to doing anything else. You see, Fox 1s are decent for what they are. What is not decent is the rear aspect A9P. At this battle rating, everybody either has the IRCCM capable missile or it has enough countermeasures to counter it somehow. Most of them, at least. The American F-14B understood the assignment to a certain point. The Iranian one did not, because it used to be in the lower tiers. Currently, the Tomcat's engines are the third hottest thing in the game, with the second one being my homie Shima and the first one being the fucking sun. Follow my homie Shimakaze TM on Twitch, by the way. Oh, I haven't talked about the radar yet. Now, normally in this battle rating, you have somewhat of a decent post-opera radar, such as the F-15s or the F-16s. They're decent enough to maintain the lock if the enemy's either at a notching position or in rear aspect. This motherfucker straight up ignores everything because the enemy is not coming in a head-on. I mean, there's a reason why it's called HDN after all. Put in 2s and 2s together and you can realize that this thing feels slightly outdated. But hey, not all is doom and gloom, as you can still get down tiers at this BR. I hope. Now, if you get down tiers with this thing, you can still feel very good because, let's be honest, those premium players are still very tasty when they don't know what multipathing is. Back then, BR-wise, your competitor was the F-14A Tomcat. Fox 1 and Fox 2-wise, plus the extra fuel tanks, the American F-14A was better. But the Iranian variant absolutely smoked the American one when it came to Fox 3s and the variety of armaments it could carry. Nowadays, BR-wise, your competitor is mostly the F-14B. Oh, and it's folded now. It costs around 200k or something. So let's have a look at what are the differences. Firstly, the flight performance is much better on the B variant, due to the fact that the engines have a much better performance at slower speeds. But at the same time, the B variant hits a semi-brick wall and doesn't want to go that fast. The Iranian version takes a lot of time to reach Mach 1, but it still has the possibility to go at higher speeds. In simple terms, the American B variant accelerates really fast, but doesn't want to go faster at high speeds. The Iranian A wants to go faster, but it cannot, unless you dive or you're on very low fuel. Armament-wise, you get 4 all-aspect missiles with significantly more countermeasures, or somewhat of a solid AIM-7M preset. But then you get the Phoenix, which is meh. I mean, at least you can carry 6 of them instead of the 4 on the Iranian Tomcat. And that is what I feel like matters the most in top tier, because you look at the both planes and you realize that one is competent enough to be at 13.0, the other one is just simply there because of the Fox 3s. Now let's get on with the ultimate question. Is this thing worth your purchase? I have to be honest with you, the vehicle itself is incredibly fun. As of now, the price should be around 80 bucks, with a possibility of going either up or down by 10 bucks. For me, honestly, it's, let's just say it like this, something, my economy's trash, costs an entire salary to buy this thing, therefore it's not worth it. But if you have too much money laying around and if you want to grind top tier America or just want to have a vehicle that is just fun and unique in a special way, sure, you can purchase it. It might have plenty of outdated features on it, which remedies the glorious past that it used to have. Oh god, it sounds so sad. I wonder if it's the same case in real life. But at the end of the day, it still does have 2 ridiculously big rocket bombs, 2 ridiculously big Fox 1s, and most importantly, one of the most powerful Fox 3s in the entire game, if not the most powerful. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it, and if you want to support me even further, you can also join my YouTube membership or donate a super thanks if you want to. For now, this is me, Bob Dickinson. and I'm straight up going back to studying because, oh my god, I hate the fact that I have to keep the videos low production, but hey, what can I do? But anyway, thank you for watching.